Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive online training-cum-orientation program for extensive use of Indian language primers. You are watching us live on PME Vidya channels 1 to 12 and also on our YouTube handle NCERT Official. Today we are in day 4 of our online training-cum-orientation program and we are catering to the audiences from the southern region. Yes, we will be focusing on delivering full coverage of all orientation components, including conceptual foundations, pedagogical structures, classroom integration and hands-on example regarding the primers to support state-level use of primers. So we request all the SCERTs out there, all the teachers, parents, students and all other stakeholders to kindly pay attention to this wonderful session that we're going to conduct today. If you have any queries, please feel free to get in touch with us. Our phone number is 8800440559. Our email ID is tth.class12@ciet.nic.in. And on our YouTube handle NCERT Official as well, you can send us your questions, suggestions and of course your feedback. Now to have discussion on primers, what primers are all about, what about pedagogical structures, why they were developed at the first place and how they are helping us in the preservation of languages, culture and eventually our identities, we have our expert in the studio. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Ravindra Kumar. Sir is Associate Professor from CIET-NCERT New Delhi. Sir, namaskar and very warm welcome to the session.
Namaskar. Thank you.
And sir, it's actually one of the wonderful series that we are conducting on primers, and so far we have catered to the audiences from northern region, eastern region, western region.
Yeah.
And for the southern region audience, because they have joined us for the first time in this week, I really want to start with the basic question: what are primers and why were they needed at the first place?
It's nice to us because today we are addressing the southern region primers. First of all, I want to inform to all SCRTs because we have developed 121 language primers across the India.
Wow.
It's a big congratulations to basically Ministry of Education, NCERT and CIR. And what about the primers? As you know, each and every textbooks have an own importance in our life.
Yes.
So for basically linguistic parts, we need some documentation. We need some basically research based data for preserving this language. As you know, we have a lot of language in Indian context, but things is that we need try to document it, these textbook, these basically language in a documentation format. And if I am talking about the what is exactly primers, so primers are basically bridging, helping with the basically with the to provide to cater the need of the children's, to cater the need of the adult, to cater the need of basically parents, to cater the need of other stakeholder of education, which are basically willing to know one more language in that case.
Why?
In that case, if I am talking about the primers, primers are basically fundamental educational instructional materials to help early learner develop basic fundamental literacy and numeracy skills. Primers foster creativities through local illustrations or cultural appreciations and engaging rhymes. It's the beauty of these primers, and they also introduce cultural language by providing examples, the support writing practices. So this is basically packaged to know your culture, to know your linguistic structure, to know your basically local artifacts and all that, to know your basically traditions and all that. So we are just trying to incorporate, to integrate all those things which are running in the respective regions like that. And then primers are basically learning, bridging, helping both children and adults. It's not basically not confined to the early grade learner or children's. It is also be helpful to the adult also. As I'm saying, we have a lot of basically study centers for adults.
Yes.
So that is also be helpful to make to know the their respective language, because each and every states have a number of languages.
Yes.
If I'm talking about the Odisha have a lot of language.
True.
If I'm talking about the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and other states, they have lot of language. They have some scheduled language, they have some basically
Local
tribal languages also.
yeah.
So we just try to cover up all languages which are especially mentioned in 2011 census survey. So we just provide the instruction materials and their bilingual nature, because they are the primers are in bilingual nature. They are make to them feasible to foundational literacy and numeracy, promotion of language learnings and national integrations. That will be the tool for make a national integration also, because we are to transform our culture, transform our linguistic expression, transform our linguistic cultural knowledge to each other. So that is the beauty of national integration, national emotional integration also be the understanding Indian languages. So it's all about basically primers. Primers is basically tool in our hand to promote, to basically to disseminate, to preserve the Indian languages for our next generations and all that.
Well, so that is amazing, because what we are trying here, we're trying to bring mother tongue of school children in their school, so that every child gets a chance to study and absorb the concepts in their own mother tongue.
Yes, yes.
Also, I noticed during the series that all 22 scheduled languages have second language is Hindi, if I'm not wrong. In the primers, right?
Yes.
So it is something that that is very easy to understand, that is very relatable to the local context also. I'm sure, sir, while developing these primers, a lot of research was done by NCERT. You collaborated with the CIET-NCERT. So let's talk about the pedagogical structure of these primers.
Before basically dealing the pedagogical structures, I want to little bit focusing on the needs for developing the primers in Indian language. Because as you know, as I'm earlier said that India is basically culturally and linguistically very rich diversity. Okay, so we have we have not exact data, but we have more than 5,000 languages in Indian context.
Wow.
After the passing of time, some languages are not basically in used, so we cannot able to preserve this language. But then we have data to use this language after and focusing on that. So we have some data in 1971 at a total of 1652 languages belonging to 5 different families we have received in Indian context. After that, if I am talking about that census 2011, it especially focused to linguistic parts, a total of 121 languages and 270 mother tongues belonging to the 5 different language families. So in that case, we have a rich linguistic background. We have a rich cultural background in that case. Today is basically is a wonderful day for celebrating the Pongal, Makar Sankranti, Lodi, and we have basically rich of the basically cultural diversity and linguistic diversity also. This is the beauty of basically India. It's the beauty of basically Bharat. And then if I'm talking about the NEP 2020s, NEP 2020, because it's the recent documents which are basically guiding to us to make sure to develop content in multiple Indian languages. So we have the 22 scheduled languages at that time. We are working on it. I want to inform our stakeholders of the school education. NCERT already has initiated a project to translate all NCERT textbook in 22 scheduled languages. Wow. And class 1, 2, 3 and 6 already have been uploaded on NCERT and Diksha portals. Because we are going to fulfill, we are try to goal of NEP 2020 in that case. Apart from that, because we have a census 2011, we are focusing on to produce the content under these languages also. And during the development of these basically material, these primers, we are focusing some keywords, like we are just focusing on, as per NEP 2022, to use some local content of the basic states and local flavor also. That is the beauty of these primers. We just pick up some content, pick up some artifacts, pick up some cultural appreciations from the local sites. Then I will try to go through some basically primers, especially for southern region. So you see that some basically some picks and some cultural appreciations, you see that. And then chapter 22 in NEP 22 especially focus focusing on promotion of Indian language, art and culture. So in that case, the primer is basically the package, a fully package to fulfill the chapter number 22.
Right.
Because we are just focusing on the Indian language, because we are covering all Indian languages. As on date we have 121 linguistic primers is there, and we are trying to cover 270 mother tongues, which are already identified as per the parameter 10,000 people are speak the particular language. In that case, we are try to create content in these languages. Or and arts, we have some huge arts, local art. You see whenever you see the primers, you see the different types of houses in primers.
Yeah,
because if you see the south region house, so they are different. If you see the western region, eastern region, and we have the mountain and all that, we have the diversity. No? So we just try to pick. We just try to cover all those things in that way. As you know, NEP 20 is focusing on the multilingual education. We just try to provide the multilingual environment in our classroom also.
So what I saw is something very not very good, because in 1971 census we had 1,652 languages. The number has been reduced.
Yes.
And also in the previous sessions we discovered that every 15 days one language dies.
Yes, yes.
So yes, preservation of language is very important. Not just that we want every child to study in their mother tongue, but also we need to preserve the knowledge and the culture that is specific to that particular language. I'm sure while designing the pedagogical structure, you took care of all these things.
Yes, yes. For preserving of these linguistic structures, we just basically request and recommend it to the universities also. They try to conduct the research in the languages, because the researchers is a key resource persons which are able to preserve this language. Right. Because if research are conducted in these languages, then we will be survive these languages.
Yeah.
So if I am talking about the pedagogical structures, you see the screen on that. The structure of these primers, because we have used some 3 types of linguistic structure is there. You see the 3, I'm quoting 3 types of primers example is here. If you see the Mizo primers, which are basically tribal primers, is from the Mizoram. You see the Mizo primer is basically mapped with the especially English language, because the Mizoram have a state language is English. So English and Mizo is basically the combination of the combination of that. And you see the second primer, Korku primers. Korku primer is basically Madhya Pradesh, from the Madhya Pradesh, because Madhya Pradesh have a basically state language in Hindi. So we just this Korku tribal language mapped with basically Hindi language. That is basically second combination of the language.
The closest language is the second
and
language.
If you see the Kannada primers, it's basically Karnataka. So Karnataka, you know, one thing is that because all scheduled language primers we have mapped with the Hindi, because we are promoting to the Hindi language or a Indian languages or a Bharatiya Bhasha and all that. So in that case, if you see the Kannada primers, we are map the particular primers with basically Hindi. In Hindi, you see in the screen the first word is there. You see that is the sound is O in basically Kannada. In that case, we are you see the some word in that case here. This is the word. You see the word is called as oot in Kannada language. Okay, the translation of this word khana.
Khana.
Is a khana. Or you see the pictures of khana, is basically is the local pictures is there.
Yes.
You see the
local cuisine.
It's the beauty of that.
Yeah.
And then for this purpose, this is the rhymes in Kannada language. The Kannada people very well know this rhymes and understand and enjoy this that. After that, it's a chadi. Most of the people know the Hindi.
Yeah.
So you know the chadi. Chadi is a translation of basically uru golu. Urugolu. Okay. In Kannada, we can say the Urugolu. So Urugolu is there. And then if you see that this is the Agarbatti. Agarbatti Udukudi. Udukudi is there. Okay. So these are some words. And then if you are talking about the Fukni, we are using some in village area, pipe and all that. So we just say Udugoleve. Udugoleve. So we have some words. We have to. It's basically this is the pedagogy which is helpful to basically transformation of language to one language to two language and three language if you want to that. One thing is that because we have an language, as you know, as per the documented records, you know, in early ages the student or the child have able to know two or three language easily. If you want to learn one more language, that was the time to insert one more language to learn that. For this we have already initiated a basically work under the basically Ministry of Education, एक और भाषा सीखें.
Okay.
So we just try to under this schemes we are trying to implement one more language in schools, because they have they all know two language, because there's a three language family is running in all school systems, but we are trying to they know the basic knowledge of one more language in that case.
So sir, we have visuals, we have like images, we also have like writing practice for the kids. What about the audio, if I want to hear the pronunciation?
But audio is there, but we are trying to develop some audio, basically audio primers in next phase. Okay. We are just already requesting to the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education is already intended to produce as early as possible. So we have some certain, but we have already started to make a audio, because because it's time digital time. So we just try to train the AI for receiving the exact pronunciation of these primers.
Again, we would require the help of community members to come up and
because they are verified. Because first of all, because we have a 121 language primers. In manually it's a basically lengthy job or a long term job. Absolutely. Is there, because we have a lot of time to develop these primers. Approx 2 years we have.
Lakhs of words.
But if we have using AI, so if we are able to basically train the AI in that case, and the AI is basically helpful to make the particular sound in pronounce in a good way, with the good accent. Or
exact pronunciation.
And then we will verify with the local resource person, and then we ready that. So it's basically an under consideration with the integration of physical form and AI form.
Right.
So we just try to.
And so, would you like to show us primers?
Yes, I want to show these primers. You know,
they are from the southern region.
Yeah, this is basically Telugu primers.
Okay.
You know, the Telugu primer is basically is a scheduled language primers. So as I have already shared that the Telugu primer is there. This is basically linguistic structures or a sound structures of this that. Then you see that the Varnamala is there. Okay. So Varnamala, and as you know, we have in Hindi Devanagari lipi is there. So because we have mapped these primers with the Devanagari script and all that, so you know see that these are the Vardamala is there, Swara is there, Swara is there, and then Vyanjan is there, and then Vyanjan, after the Vyanjan we have some basically it's the structures in a same way. We have some structures. We just provide the initial knowledge of the basically lines process and thought, because the learners we are considering as a Balavatika students and all that, they are trying to enable to ensure their work senses like that. If they are not going to practice the line, practice the word, they are not able to make a work senses and other. They have the knowledge sense and work sense go side by side. Then they will be gain the knowledge accordingly.
Right,
so these are some shapes which are basically able to make a stronger work senses and all that. Maria Montessori also we said that you are using pencil, you are try to use some dialect apparatus, then your work senses being good, be hard, and your writing will be improved easily, because if you have grip in your pen with your practices, then you improve your writing skills.
Lovely.
Also. So it's a things that these are some practices which are already proved by the researchers and all that. Okay. So this is basically in the first phase we are just using some lines and curves which we are able to that, and then we are using some, because it's a Pravishika is a primer, so we just treat it in a basic or a fundamental basically linguistic appreciation and all that. Other than we have some we have some Vardamala and that Swar Vyanjana all that, as you know Telugu persons as very well know about this and then this is basically beauty of that. It's a ma, like in Telugu words you call the ma. We are just treating that local accent and all that. Okay, yeah. And the one more primers we have Kannada, as I'm talking about all that. So this is already this is the basically an Swara Vyanjana is there. So you know chawal and bhat, and then I have already see that oot we are just calling as oot is there, but in Hindi we are calling about the oot and all that. Okay, in Kannada dawai and all that. So we have a structure. One more structure is there which you are seeing in that. So we are using some numeric. Numeric is there. You know this is the numeric structure in that case. You see the skin and this is the skin. You know, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's English like that.
Right.
Okay. And then we are just, this is basically in a Kannada language. If I am talking about, I am trying to learn this language. If you see that oketi is a 1, is rendu is 2. You see that rendu is like the rendu and all that. And mudu is 3. And nalugu is a 4. So we are just calling its transformation is that 1 in Hindi ek, in basically in Kannada like that okuti. So it's a basically beauty of these primers. We are just integrating the multiple language in that case.
Lovely.
So it's a basically pedagogical structures which are basically using some Varnamala and all that. And
so complete foundational literacy is there. Reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yes, FLN is there. Okay. These are some basically keywords which are basically introduced in this primers. We just provide some activity based and child friendly environment in these textbooks. You see that activity based, we are just providing some boxes in that case. They are going to make a practice handwriting practice in that case. So they are able to make practices in this.
Sometimes we have dots and you have to join the dots and form the alphabet. It's like that.
And introduce introductions of fundamental learning FLN.
Right.
So you know, as I am discussing all that, phonetics and vocabulary is there. So not only we are focusing on the Varnamala, we just treat it as a the particular Varnamala is focusing, draw the multiple word is there, and their translation also is there.
Right.
And then colorful visuals, as you know.
Yes, we are seeing colorful visuals.
Balvatika students is enjoying the colorful skins and all that. So it's the beauty of that. We are, and hands-on writing practices is there. We have a sufficient space to writing. It's because we are going to not a big book and all that. It's a privacy like that. They are enjoying and that. And they introduce some shapes like that. So we are the shapes and all that. In next phase, if the SCRTs, if the stakeholder of education, if the stakeholders which are basically that related in these language to provide the feedbacks for improving it, then we will introduce some more shapes, more colorfuls, and more interactive in that case.
So, sir, we've seen these features, how they're aligning with the recommendations of NEP 2020.
Yeah, as already I have said that NEP 2020 especially focusing 22. If you see the before NEP 2020, after NEP 2020, the entire document is focusing on the medium instructions should be basically mother tongue. And if I'm talking about the literature, especially Hindi literature, निज भाषा उन्नति आहे सब उन्नति को मूल. निज भाषा उन्नति आहे सब उन्नति को मूल. बिन निज भाषा ज्ञान के मिटत नहीं होकर सुल. Actually, you are basically things, all those things your own language, because we have a translation method.
That's right.
If I am belonging to the Delhi region, if you are belonging to basically the Punjab region or whatever the states,
that's right.
First you basically acquire the particular knowledge in your own language, and then you will be try to translate and all that.
That's right.
So the NEP 20 is focusing on that. We are trying to make the mindfulness of the particular learner, and Chomsky also be said that in that case. Chomsky also be said the all children have an own language acquisition device. They have bond with own linguistic structures. You know the basic line jungle baat chali hai pata chala is a Mowgli, hai na?
Yeah.
है ना?
Mowgli.
You know the story of the Mowgli, you know.
Absolutely.
That he's basically human, but he's
Interacting with
nurturing
animals.
basically they have changed their language.
Oh yes.
So it's the environment also be paid to vital role to change your linguistic structures also. So we are just considering this functionalities of the changing of the language and all that.
Right.
So in that case we have a key focus like that. So NEP 22 especially is focusing on the multi-language. In that case we have the primers with the mapped with the 3 language structures like that.
Right.
Okay, so and then multilingual is there, and then mother tongues. As you know, we are just focusing on the all 22 scheduled language and 121 linguistic primers, and we are planning to cover 270 language primers also.
Wow.
Then we are just try to, and linguistic expressions also, because every language have an own linguistic expressions. We just try to cover all linguistic expressions with the help of the local resource person.
Okay.
And then cultural awareness also, I am
Yeah.
already shared that. So we are using some houses, we have some mountains,
Or
have
we can
some,
say Pongal, Makar Sankranti, Lodi, how
and,
they're
the
interrelated.
culture, and local artifacts and FLN also. This is basically is focusing on the NEP 2020's goal and all those things.
Right,
Okay?
sir.
Yeah.
And sir, because we are left with very little time, is there any message or any particular thing that you would like to mention about these primers?
Yes, I have a message for the all stakeholder of education, because NCERT is treating body to basically school educations. As you know, we have developed these primers is basically the restless effort of the Central University of Odisha Koraput, CIL Mysore and NCERT under the aegis of Ministry of Education. So this is basically paradigm which shows the, it's a basically journey of to development of primers. So in that case, finally we have developed 121 language primers and basically handed over to the all stakeholder of education via online mode, or few primers we have already sent to the in hard copy also to all across the states especially. And in this basically in this work, the Ministry of Education is intended to conduct a follow-up study of these study materials. So we just try to conduct a study in across the India, but in first phase we are just selecting few states for studying and basically reactions and provide for receiving the feedback from the state side. So we have now Arunachal Pradesh is there, Andhra Pradesh is in a queue. So I am requesting to the especially these states which are basically already we have already communicated to these states that we are going to conduct the data on these primers.
Right.
So I am requesting to entire SCRTs across the India that we are until unless we are basically interact with you for collecting some feedbacks from responses of these primers. So you are basically requested to make provide your valuable times for basically maintain the qualities and improving these primers for further necessary actions and disseminated to our national building.
I hope these primers are really affordable. They are available both offline and online.
One more things, because still we have the advocacy materials. We just provide the free of cost, but we have received the request from the different institutions because they need primers. But in coming times we are provide these primers in sale basis also by the publication division NCERT. Recently you see these primers on website for the sale purpose also.
Great, great. Thank you so much, sir, for providing all this information. In fact, there's a lot that we would like to discuss more about the primers, and that will happen, of course, in the upcoming sessions. Tomorrow we have another session where we will be catering to the audiences from the northeastern region of the country. But for today's session, sir, thank you so much for your time and contribution.
Thank you.
And now it's time for me to wrap up this session on primers. Yes, this was our online training-cum-orientation program for extensive use of Indian language primers. And now let's take a quick look at what's coming ahead during the day. So here is the program schedule. We're through with the session on primers. In a short while from now at 2 p.m. we will bring you a session of Hindi, and then rest of the sessions will follow. Please participate in those sessions, and this is me, Harpreet Kaur, signing off at the moment, and will join you shortly. Namaskar.